Welcome back, everyone, to Gals Need Pals, the pod. I am your co-host, Kinley Schmidt.
And I am your co-host, Lauren Trivison.
I apologize for any sniffling or, snot-related issues that we have on this podcast. I am recovering from the vid.
Oh no, not Miss Rona.
Yeah. This is my first time getting COVID, so 2025, better late than never. So happy to finally experience what everyone else experienced 5 years ago.
Yes, miss COVID. Yeah. I have unfortunately experienced her and have a bit of trauma related to that, of course. And it ties into, oddly enough, what we're going to talk about today.
Amazing.
And picture this. Early June, I am getting ready to help my best friend get engaged. Her now husband and I have been planning this for literally months, and the morning that it was all supposed to go down, I test positive for COVID. We were going to go to his graduation that day, then of course have the proposal. Nope, Lauren misses everything, sick as a dog.
No.
And it was awful. But now she has always been my best friend, but now she is my long distance bestie, which, Kinley, you want to share what our special topic of the day is?
Topic of the day is long distance best friends with a little sprinkle of expectations with friendships.
Absolutely.
In there. If you have listened in before, you know that my core best friends are all long distance. I have a core friend group that I met in college. That's my trio, which is me, my best friend Lauren, my best friend Dee Dee, and then I have a childhood best friend, Stephanie. And Steph lives in Dallas, Texas. Lauren lives in Boise, and Dee Dee lives in Denver.
Ooh, party.
Yeah, so we have been experiencing long distance bestiehood since 2020.
Yeah.
We all graduated. Well, that's me and Lauren and Dee Dee. Stephanie and I have been long distance since we graduated high school, so a really long time. But she's my sister, so.
It works.
We'll never part. But yes, as you know, I have, been dealing with long distance bestiehood for a while, and it's definitely very challenging. And I would say you definitely need to lower your expectations of your friendships.
Oh my gosh.
And I know that sounds awful to say, but when you're in a long distance bestiehood with your girls, you have to remember that they have lives in their respected towns and cities.
Yeah.
And, they're trying to navigate their work life, their relationships, their friends that are actually present. And so you have to realize that it's not going to be the exact same as it was. I think that was what we struggled with at the very beginning, me, Lauren, and Dee Dee, because we went from college where we spent every single day together. Lauren and I lived together. Dee Dee basically lived with us. And then we went from that to obviously living in different locations. So we started that out in 2020 with those cute little Zoom dates. And
I remember those days. My college friends and I would do that. And we'd do I remember Cinco de Mayo, we did our little margaritas. We have little wine nights and stuff. And then, as time goes on, that whole friend group kind of dissipated and stuff.
Yeah.
It's impressive that you guys stuck it out.
Yeah, those Zoom dates cease to exist now. But that's okay because it was a very 2020 thing to do. Oh, yeah. Really bringing this full circle to my COVID that I'm having in 2025. But, what we do now is we just still, to maintain our friendships and to continue the relationship that we have together, is we still text each other in a group message, me, Lauren, and Dee Dee. And then Stephanie and I obviously talk all the time as well. We used to have a little Snapchat group with me, Lauren, and Dee Dee, but we realized over the past weekend that we just don't really use Snapchat anymore. And so we just decided we'll just send pictures that we would typically send via Snapchat via our text message.
Amazing.
Group message.
I actually deleted my Snapchat this weekend too. Mine was more because I was a silly goose and drank too much over the weekend, which you do when you're, newly single. And I was like, this is a great idea. Let me just add a bunch of random people from my recommended list. Don't do that. That was a choice. I scared myself. I was like, I don't know who any of y'all are, and then I promptly unadded everyone that I had just added, and I deleted the app because I was like, I don't actually know you or want to talk to you in stranger danger. And yeah, it's just I'd rather text. I think that's kind of my
I think it's definitely a generational thing, because funny enough, when you told me that story yesterday, I didn't tell you, but I've also just deleted Snapchat off my phone because they keep sending those random notifications, like those
many notifications.
Like, why am I getting Snapchats from like People magazine? Like, stop. Yeah. I don't know you. Who are you? Am I getting that?
I don't remember following this years ago. Like, it was definitely.
I didn't even follow. I don't even follow them. They're like,
oh
yeah. I don't know how I'm getting them.
That's really spooky.
And it's not even like on my stories. Like, it's like on my page.
I don't understand that app.
No.
I like my Instagram, TikTok, the other, not the snaps.
No.
Also, like, talking to guys and things on there, creepy.
Yeah.
Don't want to see your face. Like, low-key, when I was on the dating apps, I would be so freaked out if I got, like, a Snapchat from these people, because I'm like, I'm going to see you, and then because, guys can't take a picture to save their lives, it was an automatic ick. I was like, I'm good. I love me a text. I like to send a voice memo. Sometimes now I'll even call and talk on the phone.
Oh my gosh.
Which, for a recovering phone anxiety girly, this is really big and huge. Growth.
It's literally like telephobia. You have that.
Yeah, no, I'll never forget. It was getting into planning for college and talking to like prospective schools and stuff, and one of them called me, and my mom's like, Lauren, here's the photo, and I was so scared. And my mom's like, the fuck is wrong with you, Lauren? And I was like, I literally have this thing, and I had to show her on Wikipedia that I was not just making it up. But I'm very pleased and proud to say that I've gotten a lot better. Kinley can attest. She's still like, Lauren, you need to talk to people on the phone. I'm like, I know. And we've made a lot of progress there, but snapping and stuff, not the vibe. Texting long distance friends and stuff, absolutely love. But oddly enough, you know what I also still use that I do still recommend and has my seal of approval? Zoom. I love doing a co-working session on Zoom. So my best friend lives in my hometown, Olympia. Her and I met, I think it's been 6 years now, and she still lives in my hometown. I live obviously here in Spokane, and we will do little Zoom calls where we just work together, because she is also an entrepreneur, works for herself, and we'll just yap and catch each other up. And at first it was difficult, like you were saying, trying to realize, you're gonna have like a different life, you're gonna hang out with all these people. And I had been really close to her like during the pandemic and when I was living at home between college and now, and getting away from that, I was like, you still get to talk to our mutual friends, you still like this life, and now I have to go off and go on my little side quest like the guy from Lord of the Rings, how I felt. And it was just weird to transition from that to being like, okay, now we like have our scheduled time, but you have those people in your life, you're going to prioritize them one way or another, and the expectations have definitely shifted, where it's like, okay, I know that you've got your people, your priorities, I have mine, but how can we still meet in the middle of sorts and make time for each other?
Yeah. I going back to the Snapchat thing, I feel like we have outgrown it.
Absolutely.
Just because I feel like I used it more when I was single, and I snapped guys more, which this is a PG podcast. I wasn't sending anything inappropriate. We just would talk to the person via Snapchat, which I realized is lame as fuck. If a guy only wants to speak to you via Snapchat, he does not like you.
No.
So literally leave that in the past. When I started dating Ben, he didn't really ever Snapchat. Thank God. And so we just texted, and I was like, why do I have Snapchat? Like, really, genuinely.
No, literally.
Because my friends and I haven't really been that active on it. So now we just text, and I deleted the app because I'm too fucking old for that shit now.
Yeah. I did talk to like this one gal last year, and she's like, my main form of conversation is Snapchat, and I'm just like, why? And even my sister, who's only a couple of years younger, uses it all the time to keep up with all these people, and I'm just like, how do you
They're
have the
like
time and
they
energy?
like still believe in like the streaks and
Oh,
stuff.
I know. Crazy.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
I
have no
never was a
streaks.
streaks girl though.
I wasn't
I think we were
either.
too old.
No, I had friends that were your age that were still very into it, but also
Really?
that was a friend that like talked to a lot of younger guys, so there could have also been that there. But yeah, that was not something I ever really gave to.
I think it's definitely a younger generation's form of communication. Because, like, even one of my friends here, she's in a relationship, all that stuff, but she still uses Snapchat to communicate, like, with, like, her cousins, her friends, like, all that stuff, and she's, like, streaks with them. They literally just send, like, a picture from, like, eyes up, no words, nothing. It's like, what's the point?
I don't need to see that.
No.
That's so
and also,
weird.
like, I don't need to take that many photos of myself.
Yeah, no. I take enough photos of myself for work. I don't need weird selfies. Because that scares me, and that's probably going to scare the person that's getting it.
I don't look that good all the time.
No. It
like,
takes a
ever,
lot
actually.
That's why I love a good text. Because then you don't know.
What am I wearing? Maybe
me.
my pajamas.
Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah. Surprise, Sean.
Use your imagination there. Woohoo. But yeah, I just love text. And then you can also use your Apple Watch to communicate. Like, I love a little texting that way. I have iMessage on my computer. So easy. Like, I don't want to go into my phone, have to reply on a separate app. That's just too much work that I don't have the time or energy for.
Yeah.
Just
so, anywho, Snapchat's out. That's our
Texting
tangent.
is
That's
in.
our tangent that we're going on today at Cows and Pals. Snapchat out. Texting in. Not that texting has been out. It's been in.
Yeah. Always
But our
been
2025 in and outs. 2025 out. Snapchat. Back to friendships. Sorry everyone. We don't know why we just got into that. It was just something.
That's just girlhood, though. I think
Just yapping about random ass shit.
about stuff, and our conversations end up in a circle. Like, we'll start somewhere, we may wander off, but we always come back to where we need to. So,
but our friendships, our long distance friendships, all of my long distance friends are in my wedding. So we keep saying that this is the best year ever for our long distance friendships, because we get to see each other so many more times this year. So they came out. Ben surprised me with all my friends the weekend after we got engaged. So that was in May. And that was so incredibly fun. And I realized how, because I hadn't been with all three of them together in a long time. Because Stephanie came to visit us in college once or twice. And she's been around like once or twice, and she's just an angel baby, and she's like the biggest social butterfly. She can get along with anyone. But it's just so incredible to have all of your best friends in one place and space. And so that was truly the most fun weekend ever. And I feel bad, but also don't, that I feel like I just didn't even talk to my very new fiance that entire weekend. But he was just so happy. I could just tell that he was just so happy to see me with my people, because we're a lot of the time with his people, because all of his friends live here, whereas all my friends live away. And so I was just really in my element, and you could tell he was really happy about that, which was cute. And like probably 2 weeks before, 2 or 3 weeks before, we had gone down to Boise because my best friend got engaged. And so that was fun. It was like we got to see each other, really soon after one another, which is pretty rare nowadays because we're poor and we can't travel that often. Yeah, but now we have another that we're going to see. So we saw each other in May. Then we're going to see each other again. I saw Stephanie before Thanksgiving, because I went down to Texas. And then I get to see all of them in a month for my bachelorette.
Yay.
And then a lot of them can't come to my bridal shower, but that's super fair because it's all the way up here, and that makes sense. But then, of course, for the wedding, we get to have like a week together again.
Cute.
So your wedding year is the best for your long distance friendships because you get to see your friends so much more. which is amazing. And that, I think, is another thing, is that we're trying, now that we're older and also a little bit more established in our careers, we're putting more effort into trying to going to see each other.
I love that.
So, like, I still plan to go see Lauren and Cole, her fiance, in Boise sometime between my bachelorette and the wedding in August. Because I see Stephanie, and then Dee Dee, we really want to go see Dee Dee in Denver. But I think you have to put in a lot more effort, because it's not just effort, but it's time and money, because you're having to travel to see them.
Yeah.
But as long as there's a mutual effort of, like, this person is, coming to see you this time, then you can go see them the next time, I feel like that's been really successful on how we maintain our relationships. And obviously just staying in communication and following up, and sometimes even that catch-up phone call.
Oh, I love those. One of my long-distance friends, she also lives in my hometown area. Most of my friends either live in Eastern or Western Washington. I don't really have anyone super far away, although as we were talking about this, I'm realizing one of my friends is moving out of the country soon. But that's its own trauma that I don't really want to think about yet, because I was like, yay, another person's leaving me early this year. Woohoo! One of my friends, her and I love to send each other voice memos, but not just like a cute little minute and a half long. It's like a 10-minute podcast episode back and forth, and it is my favorite thing ever. And it is like so healing, because her and I are both in our single eras, and having those friends that may not physically be close by but still in that same stage of life has been so helpful. And we just catch up on all the different things we're doing, and we don't talk like every single day or super often, but having those little catch-ups. And then one of my single friends here, her and I will talk on the phone, because we're both just like live by ourselves, and we're like, we're lonely, how's it going? But we don't want to like go to each other's houses all the time necessarily. And that has been so helpful and healing too, because we're both yappers. So it's like 2-3 hours at a time. We're just like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I love those catch-up phone calls. Those are my favorite. And I feel like they don't happen as much as I would like, because it's just, you get so busy. But when you do get to catch up, it's so fun. And also making sure that you're putting in the effort to ask how your friends are doing, like what's new. I saw something on TikTok recently. There's an app, can't remember the name of the app, but you basically, it's like a weekly newsletter, and it's with your it's like with your girlfriends, and you add each other into this like group message app thing. Okay. And then at the end of the week, you post pictures and like kind of write up something about your week. And I want to do that with my girls.
Is it the one that's like Be Real but not?
Maybe. Because
my sister and her coworker have something like that they were showing me, because they're young. They're like under 25. And I don't know what it is. Well, I think it's because your prefrontal cortex develops. The over 25 crowd and the under 25, life's apart. It's fascinating. It's only a couple years, but my God, night and day.
Yeah.
Talking to them, I get tired. I'm confused. They say the fuck after everything. I'm like,
why?
The meme. I'm like, yeah, the fuck are you talking about? Like, they say it every 10 seconds. And then all my older people friends were all just like, blah, 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 doing our own thing. But they were showing me an app, I think similar to that, where it was kind of like a picture with Be Real, but I think you only take it once a week or something.
I don't know if I think it's like a newsletter, this thing. Well, I'm going to have to look it up after this, because I think that's so fun, because I would love to be able, it feels a little weird to text your friends now, like as a almost 28-year-old, being like, hey, this is what I did this week. Like, I did this and blah, 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 blah. Especially when it comes, like, this year, obviously, there's a lot of fun things happening in, like, every week, because I'm planning my wedding. But I kind of feel bad texting my bridesmaids group message and be like, found my after party dress, or like, did this. Like, I kind of want to that would be cool to just do it, like, once a week. Then you can just kind of talk about your life for once a week, and then you can hear about your friends' life, and then you catch up, and it's all in one spot, instead of texting them every second and being like, I had a meeting with the decorations people,
Yeah. Or you could do just like get a little janky and just do notes app every Sunday and be like, here's all the highlights and here's what you missed on Glee. Yeah. And that could be your little catch up.
Love that. So I feel like now that we're talking about the friendship part and like maintaining that, obviously you just have to put in effort, mutual effort. It's very important. But friend expectations. So yes, this has to do with long distance friendships, but also can have to do with friends that live in the same place as you. As you grow older and you get older, yes, you still need to put in effort with your friends. It's important to be present in their life. That means you need to respond to their texts and try to meet up. I know that life gets busy and you sometimes can't, but you need to try to put in that effort. But you also have to realize that life does get really busy and chaotic, and sometimes it just doesn't work. And that's where you have to kind of find that expectation of we're all human. We're all going through something on our own, and you can't expect your friends to drop everything and do what you want all the time. So yes. I'm going to bring up back to my bridal shower. It would be actually insane behavior if I was upset and mad or sad that a couple of my best friends can't make it to my bridal shower in May when it's all the way in Spokane, Washington.
It's kind of a trek for people that live states away.
Right. And I think that women, a lot of the time, especially when they're brides, they think, and I am the ultimate bride. I fucking love being a bride. I want to be a bride for the rest of my life. I love this stage of life. I'm trying very hard not to be a bridezilla. Probably am still a bridezilla. I think every bride has somewhat.
I think you're doing pretty well from what I've seen. And I sat in on one of their meetings yesterday, and I thought you were fine. You weren't like, oh my god, I wanted this one. Like, I don't know. I feel like I expect bridezillas to be psycho and like rude to people, and you just like, I have my vision. And
I would never be rude.
You're also an event planner, so like.
Well, I also couldn't imagine being rude to someone. Like, just be nice.
That in my head's a bridezilla, like the mean kind of Karen types. That's not you.
Okay, don't do that, ladies. No. But I think that there can be a lot of pressure going into this stage of life. And I feel like I heard a lot of horror stories of, like, this is when you find out who your true friends are, blah, blah, blah. Yes. And I have not felt that with my bridesmaids at all. I'm like, you guys do your own thing. Come, if you come to the bachelorette, great. If you can't, great. Because my bachelorette is in Mexico. That's far. It's expensive. Thankfully, they don't have to get an Airbnb or anything. They're just coming to my family's house. So paying for stuff is really just paying for the flight. But there would never be an expectation for them to show up and be, like, upset if they didn't.
That is really encouraging to hear, because I am going to be a bridesmaid, and unfortunately I won't be able to make the bachelorette party, and it was stressing me out so much to tell the bride and other bridesmaids, because I was just like, this is embarrassing, like, I don't know, but, because you also never know how people are going to react. But it's good to hear that some people aren't, like, up in arms about it, because I'm like, if people can't make mine one day, well, should I get engaged? Who knows at this rate? I'd be like, come if you can. I feel like there'd be a little bit more pressure for like certain friends, but if there's something that came up, like, I get that.
And I think maybe it's a level of understanding on financial problems or issues or lack thereof, right? You can't expect everyone to be financially able to drop everything and come to Spokane for a bridal shower. Like, that's not, like, my very best friend, my childhood best friend, she's my sister. She lives in Dallas, Texas. My bridal shower is on a Sunday afternoon. she's like, oh my gosh, like I wish I could come, but like I can't take off Monday. I, have so little PTO because so many people are getting married. And she was trying to explain it, and I was like, girl, I literally don't care. Like, I love you, and of course I would love for you to be there, but it's not a problem at all. Like, there's no expectation for you to be there. Of course I'm going to invite you. Of course I'm going to send you an invite, but there's no expectation for you. And I think I think a lot of the issues when it comes to that is these now brides are saying, well, I did it for you. Well, like, I came to your bachelorette, or, I spent all this money on you. You need to do the same for me. And I'm going to be very real here. Just because you were able to spend that money, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, on your friend, doesn't necessarily mean that they can spend that money a year later, 2 years later on you.
Oh, yeah.
And that shouldn't be they're not a good friend, that's rude, like they're not putting in as much effort. No, it's just they're in a different financial state right now because everything, as we can see, what's happening in our society right now and our economics right now is things are switching left and right every single day. And one day you could be financially stable and the next you couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, shit happens. I was like, last month, I was like, damn, like, I'm doing good. Like, good for you, girl. Like, so proud of yourself. And then literally this month, I, had a $700 vet bill. And you're like, okay, well, fuck. Like, that is going to be a deterrent for what I do in the next months. And that's okay. And that should be understandable to those around you. And you should.
And thinking ahead, like, I've just embraced the fact I'm a late bloomer, I guess. And things are happening for me later than I expected. And I mean, by the time, if I ever get married, shit, most of my friends are going to be married. People could be having kids. Mm-hmm. It's going to look very different in my time when it's my turn than all of my friends. And I think I've already started to preemptively grieve that in a weird way because I've seen lots of content of people being like, people don't show up as much. And I'm like, zippity bippity, I guess. We'll see what happens. And you just kind of need to accept the fact that things are going to change. And the people you have, like, your core relationships with, like, you still want to be there however you can, but also understand, like, oh, it's going to look a little different for this chapter, and everyone's in their own book at different pages.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Like, one of my bridesmaids is literally giving birth, like, during my bachelorette. And she called me, and she was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I was like, what? Don't. It's like, do not feel bad at all, because, one, if you plan things like getting married, having a child, all this stuff around life events, it'll never happen. You'll never do them.
Yeah.
You'll never have a kid. You'll never get married. You'll never do something for yourself if you're waiting for all these different life events to happen around you, because the timeline's fucked no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and you have to understand that, and you have to be respectful of that. And there's one part of me that was angry or upset. And I will never be that way, because when it happens to me, when I get pregnant, I hope that my friends understand, like, oh, say one of them gets married and I'm just gonna give birth, but it's like, well, oops. Yeah, like, it's not like it's not something you can time to the day, right? You can't just, like, be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get pregnant today and I'm gonna have a kid 9 months exactly and be perfect. Like, no, it's just not
how life works.
Yeah.
I love that perspective. That's very refreshing, because I think so many people are like, oh, it needs to look this way, and even I'm recovering from detaching what I want my life to look like and be like, it's going to happen when it happens.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, you'll find someone when the time is right. And, like, honestly, at this point, I do believe that. And I'm like, I'm going to just go about my life and do what I want and figure out who I am and find people that align with that at this phase, and then kind of go from here. Like, I didn't expect 2025 to be turning out and shaping up how it is, but it is, and I can either wallow and be depressed, or I can turn it into something awesome, and I'm trying to do the latter. So.
Yeah. I think there's a huge stigma with women, right? And this is going to come back to expectations, right? Not necessarily with just friendships, but women have such extreme expectations in general in life,
There's
right?
Just constant pressure. You feel like you're in a little rice cooker 24/7. It's just like, was I talking to you yesterday on I was talking to someone recently on, is this like something I want for myself, or is this what society wants for me? And like trying to figure out who I am at my core versus what is expected of me. And it's a hard thing to figure out.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is the biggest issue as a woman is, we're expected to not be emotional. We're expected to, be a mother. We're expected to get married, to settle down. We're expected, though, but it's 2025, so you're also expected to have a career, and you're expected to be independent and be yourself and speak up, but don't speak too loudly. And it's like, what the fuck are you expecting from us? Everything is an oxymoron of each other. So, just do what is best for you and your family in that time. I'm not saying be selfish all the time. Everyone should be somewhat selfish in certain situations, but you're not going to please everyone. So stop.
Literally.
You're never going to meet every single person's expectation. So just have an expectation for yourself. I'm a huge planner. I love to plan. I planned my wedding since I was 7 years old, right? I remember sitting with my best friend, Stephanie, as a child, and we were talking about, I'm going to get married at 25, and I'm going to have a kid at 27, and I'm going to do this and this and this. And obviously, when you're a child, you think that those are going to come true, and life changes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm like, yes, I still want to plan, but so many people are including my family, they're like, okay, when are you gonna have a kid? Wait, you're not allowed to have a kid during this time. You're only allowed to have a kid during this time, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna make that decision when the time comes with the man I'm going to have a child with, and that's it. And that's okay.
Period.
Because that expectation to please everyone, you're never going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be the right time for person A and the wrong time for person B. So say fuck you guys, and what is the best timeline for you? And that can be with children, planning of when to have a kid, a career move, if moving to a different city, if you're going to start dating, it's all on you and that expectation that society has, that your family has for you, your friends have for you. Just say, quiet it all, put them on mute, and decide for yourself, is this the best for you?
I love that.
Because you're not going to be able to please everyone.
No, not at all. I've learned that through social media. People are going to like me or they're not, but I need to like myself at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So do whatever is going to make you like you.
Yeah. And I'm struggling, with that, because I've never been a presence on social media until Gals Need Pals. And I'm like, why do we have freaking haters? I legitimately don't understand it. We literally got a message yesterday about how this is supposed to be a women-only social event organization. Why aren't you putting on more events? And, why are you, advertising on social media? Why are you, talking about vendors? Why are you putting out a podcast? Blah, 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 blah. This is what you're supposed to be doing. It's like, excuse me, are you doing it?
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, are you the one putting on these events? No. Are you the one running the business? No. Have you asked literally a single question about maybe why we're posting this on social media? No. You're just criticizing. So, why? Because people just love to hate.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying really hard to look at those things and be like, you know what? They don't know what's happening behind the scenes. They don't know what we're doing, the work that we're putting in. They don't know the mission behind Gals Need Pals and why we decided to, start a podcast and why we decided to do more advertising on social media. They don't know because they haven't asked. And that's okay.
You'll get there with time. It takes time to get more nonchalant with stuff like that.
Yeah. I just won't. I'll never understand, like, why are you hating on me for literally starting a group to help other people? But they will. They'll hate.
I mean, what's the thing? You could be the best apple on the tree, and there's still going to be people that don't like apples. And
right.
That's just...
Facts.
Just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. The apple crumbles.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I feel like this episode is really just... Yes, it's about friendship. Yes, it's about long-distance friendship. Yes, it's about expectations in friendship. But it comes back to the root of just, issues that women struggle with every single day. And that is that society, family, everything, they're putting so much pressure on us to be perfect all the time that you're eventually going to be burnt out from that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
not sustainable.
No. And so you just got to be like, you know what? It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to not be perfect today. It's okay to, because even with my fiance, like, he's so driven and he's so go, go, go. And sometimes I'm like, bro, I'm at my wit's end. Like, I'm done. I've been working all day long. I'm, making sure the house is clean. I'm cooking dinner. I'm doing all of these things. And I'm not saying that he's not also putting in a lot of work. He is. He's doing his job. He's helping around the house. He's doing the laundry. He's doing the things too. Like, I'm not saying that he's, being a typical male and just being like, oh, where's my dinner? Like, where's my things, right?
Good.
No, he's putting in a lot of extra work also. But he can sustain that. He's like, oh yeah, like, I can go all day, every day, doing shit all the time. And I'm not. And my body literally shut down this week. Yeah. Like, this whole sickness was my body saying, you need to fucking chill. And, like, I even told Lauren literally a week before I got sick, less than a week before I got sick, I'm scheduling a day off for myself because a lot of the time Gals Need Pals has events on weekends, so I'm not getting the weekend off, or I'm doing something else because my fiance and I have been trying to, like, move in together and all those things. So that's been a lot of work, right? And so I was like, I need a day off. I need to schedule a day off, which I ended up not even taking the day off, which is, again, what happened. My body immediately was like, yo, cut it out. You need to take a break.
I feel that.
So
yeah. My body does that to me too, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll listen. But now I've been scheduling, like, my Sundays to just rot and do nothing. And
which is good because I think you need, like, Ben's definition of doing nothing is not the same as my definition of doing nothing. Oh. So we've been having to, I've been having to talk to him about that, being like, no, when I say I want to do nothing, like, I want to sit on the couch in my pajamas and watch TV and hang out at home. And he's like, oh, like, you don't want to clean out the garage? No, dude. No, I don't. So,
interesting.
Expectation. Women have too many of them.
100%.
Well, thank you, ladies, for tuning in to Gals Need Pals, the pod. I'm your co-host, Kinley Schmidt.
And I'm your co-host, Lauren Trivison.
And we are bringing the bar bathroom banter to the real world.